Marjorie Taylor Greene was on a recent episode of Steve Bannon's War Room podcast. Now, the podcast still has a guest host because Steve Bannon is still in a federal prison for disregarding a congressional subpoena. And what did Taylor Greene have to say? Well, she was talking about Jack Smith and said Jack Smith should be prosecuted after Republicans win in November. Well, Republicans aren't going to win in November. It's more than likely they're going to lose the House. Kamala Harris will be president. And it's very likely Democrats keep the Senate, if not pick up a seat or two. And the math for that is very hard. But anyway, why does she think Jack Smith should be prosecuted? Well, for going after Donald Trump, of course. Says all the charges should be dismissed and what he's doing is illegal. Gives no evidence, no claims, just spouts the stuff off. But this is around the time now that we were digging through this oversized brief from Jack Smith with a lot of evidence laid bare about how damning everything is about Donald Trump and what he did around January 6th and his efforts at going into the election, etc. And there was listed 70 some unindicted co-conspirators. Well, could Marjorie Taylor Greene be one of those? It is entirely possible, and that could be why Jack Smith has her attention. Now, this tactic of prosecuting Jack Smith, calling for it, is a trademark of Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants everybody who has prosecuted him to be punished should he return to power. But could Marjorie Taylor Greene be part of this whole thing? And it's entirely possible. There were 70 some odd co conspirators. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene could be in that mix and she could be facing some criminal liability herself. Remember, when it came to certify the election on January 6, 2021, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the ones to vote against it. She was one of the loudest voices saying that she would not allow Joe Biden to steal this election from Donald Trump, even though she had been a congressperson for a grand total of 3 days at that point. It was her first term, and she was 3 days in, and she was trying to make a name for herself doing all of this, and she could have gotten wrapped up into a bunch of this. And like I said, it's entirely possible that she could be one of the listed unindicted co conspirators. So we'll see what comes out after this and if she does face any further issues. But I think that's why she's so hell bent on saying that Jack Smith needs to be prosecuted for doing nothing more than his job and getting to the bottom of the evidence and charging those that need to be charged. Eventually, those unindicted co conspirators will almost certainly all be charged with some level of crimes and their names will be made public. And it would not surprise me if Marjorie Taylor Greene is among them.